and welcome to Flappity Flap Podcast with your hosts Brandon and Sarah.
Hello.
We're a little on edge tonight in our recording. We're a little fried, having some computer issues since we had some recent power outages, and they're definitely related, but they're what? Do I have a hair?
Have you been picking?
No.
Are those like hives?
I don't know. Too much pizza? Too much pizza?
Maybe stress?
Oh, well, I was definitely stressing about the computer. Oh, yeah, weird.
Yeah, so we had power outages and both of our computers started acting freaky. And it's pretty fucking annoying. We have Macs and they were plugged into... Because I know if you have a Mac and you plug it directly into a wall... This is also a warning to anybody that has a Mac. If you plug it directly into the wall and you have a power outage or a power surge, it can fry your computer. Mm-hmm. So we had ours plugged into power strips, which are supposed to work as like breakers or something. Surge protectors.
But now we're not so sure.
Yeah, because both of our computers started acting weird after that. Mm-hmm. And then I updated, and mine's acting slow as shit. Mm-hmm. But it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Because, like, my computer right now has been running perfectly fast and good. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. And yours...
You know what an astrology person would say is that Mercury is in retrograde. And so it's wreaking havoc on all the computadoras.
Is it really in retrograde?
I have no idea. But it's just what people say when, like, technology doesn't work or communication is bad. But, yeah, I think maybe somehow it triggered... an update or did something to trigger a bug that's in Catalina. Am I really quiet? I am really quiet.
No,
huh?
You're good.
Oh, you're the top one. It's just shutting my computer down or putting it into like a power nap.
Yeah, it's doing like a sleep mode.
It's really annoying.
But like every 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And then it won't wake up.
Yeah.
Even when you're like tapping on the keyboard, clicking on the mouse. So I'm on the phone with the Apple person and I'm clearly stressed because every time he's doing a thing and I'm like,
Hold on a second.
Or like, read me off your serial number. And I'm like, I will as soon as the computer wakes up. And then I had to like rush in the 5-second window before it sleeps again.
Well,
and
it went to sleep every time, every single move. So like you logged in, it went to sleep. You opened up about my Mac, it went to sleep. And then you could finally read it. Very
the
quickly.
12-digit or whatever serial number, and I'm like, J.
And I was trying to read to like help you.
Yeah.
But it fell asleep before I could finish reading it.
And I was really proud of myself, like I was like a spy or something, because I had like I read ahead like the last 5 digits, and I was like, haha, I beat you, you bastard. And
fucking so stupid.
So Charlie kept coming under my legs, I think, because he could just feel my. Like every time the thing went to sleep, my stomach would like clench. My sphincter would clench. All the muscles in my body would clench. Mm-hmm. You know?
It's pretty irritating.
Yeah. So our energy is a little like fucking. Mm-hmm. Ugh. But we're going to try to do a thing anyway. Well, also because I specifically wanted to watch this show and talk about it. And if we don't record this week with all the stuff or it's delayed, we're going to forget.
Yeah. It's fine.
And so maybe it'll pull us out of our shit.
Let's just move into it. So what have you got? Let's just move
into it. That's your way of saying stop talking about. So we watched Resident Alien, which is on the SyFy channel or network with Alan Tudyk, who is not English. For anyone
But it's been being. Is that proper English?
It might be.
It's been being advertised a lot.
Yeah. And we it sounds fine.
It feels right, but then sounds wrong when it comes out. So
it's been advertised a lot. You could just say it's it's been advertised a lot. That's a way you could say it. And we really like Alan Tudyk, and the background of Alan Tudyk, who is otherwise known as Pirate Steve from Dodgeball.
Death at a Funeral.
English guy, which is why I thought he was English, and I thought he was English who did a really good, oh my God, American accent, but it's the other way around. And I was
Yep.
so adamant all the time, every time we would see him and stuff, because he was always in American stuff. And I'd be like, that guy's English. And then finally we looked it up and I was like, oh shit, why was I so... Anyway, he did the voice for Sonny the Robot in iRobot. He's done a bunch of other voice stuff. He was Wash in Firefly, which is excellent show. If you haven't seen it, I've watched it several times. And what else?
That's all I can
He was in The
think of
Knight's
is
Tale.
Steve the
Some other
pirate.
things that people brought up. He was in The Knight's Tale. He does. Dale Tucker.
Oh, yeah, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
How could you forget?
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
That's a really good movie. I could watch that
movie.
again.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. They're like...
You say verse a funny way. I always mean to ask you.
Versus Evil?
Yeah. I just didn't know if it was like your preference or you always say vert, or if you just don't like the two syllables.
Maybe I'm just lazy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Damn it.
Oh, it's okay.
But it's a really good movie. They're
Yeah.
like hillbillies and some kids come to town that are kind of like city,
City slickers.
city, city like jock kind
Yeah.
of preppy
Teenage
kids.
high school or college kids. Yeah.
It's just a big misunderstanding, and
Yeah.
it's such
spoiler
a good
alert.
movie. No.
That it's a big misunderstanding. I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is a bit of a
that is kind of
spoiler.
established at the very beginning. That's true.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it is. Isn't
Sorry.
it? Anyway, it's a good movie.
So he's just great. He's a great comedic actor. And so that was the big draw for me. And Brandon was saying that the previews looked a bit... Why didn't you... Because I thought it looked funny, but...
The previews looked campy or like cheesy.
Yeah.
I think because the sheriff just doesn't appeal to me. His kind of like...
Is it because he's black, Brandon?
No, he has
just
like a
kidding.
weird kind of humor, I guess.
You kind of don't
He seems like a
sassy
jerk.
people. You don't like people with attitude.
He reminds me of Captain Marvel. The entirety of Captain Marvel. She's just like kind of a sassy, assy. And it's like, I just don't... you're just
You
a
haven't
bitch.
earned it.
You have ultimate power and you're like a sassy bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just turns me off.
I think
And
with
it's like,
other
you're not
characters,
funny.
they like... Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you think it's because she's a woman? Is that part of it? Or like
I
other
don't think
characters,
so.
you kind of learn their backstory more and you kind of go like, all right, like we get where you're coming from or your kind of story that made you this way. And they just kind of throw you right into it. Like they kind of reveal her story, but you don't really have a reason to be a sassy bitch. Like, yeah, it's just very cocky.
Yeah.
And it's like cocky because you have a lot of power. Not just cocky because that's how you are, kind of like Tony Stark, where like...
That's
I don't know.
exactly what I was thinking. I'm kind of okay with Tony Stark because he has his intelligence. And it's funny because he makes sassy, funny, little snarky remarks.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're sassy and dumb, it's like, what's the appeal?
I don't think... I mean, she's obviously not dumb, but she wasn't...
She wasn't
There also wasn't like comedic relief with her.
witty.
She wasn't funny.
Yeah.
So like with Tony Stark, there's like, I feel like there's an affection coming from him. There's a little bit, he's a kind man, even though he's also an asshole. I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I think to soften that edge, you have to be funny. And she was just kind of a bitch.
Just kind of a bitch.
There was
yeah.
plenty of other comic relief, like Samuel L. Jackson and the alien stuff like that, But anyway.
Anyway, that's the feeling I get.
How did we get? Oh, yeah.
That's the feeling I get from the sheriff is that like he's just kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like then when he started beatboxing in the car,
That
it's
was
like,
just
what
weird and
is this?
random.
Is this supposed to be funny? I don't understand how I'm supposed to be feeling with
Yeah.
this other than just like, can you please stop?
I feel like that guy was, in the course of filming, they discovered that he had this talent and they just said, oh, that's really cool. Like, let's work it in. And it totally didn't fit.
It's clearly like an awkward humor.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. I don't really get it.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
Well, maybe, because I read another review that was like, he and Alan Tudyk are like the two kind of redeeming factor, because this person didn't think the show was really going to go, or that it goes too many places too quickly. it has like too many storylines or weird plot things happening. We've only watched episode 1. I think that's the only episode that's available. I didn't want to sign up for any more subscriptions because I'm a bit maxed out on the subscriptions, on the streaming plans.
Yeah.
So I bought it on Google Play, but we're having to wait, for each episode. So we only watched the first one.
It was a very good show.
It
I
was.
thought.
It was. But I definitely immediately felt, as with other shows where you have this, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but they're not waiting to reveal what's going on with him and who he is. And so when that kind of wears off after the first episode, or maybe 2 or 3, where are they going to go with it? Because then they can't rely on that for like all the humor in the episode of like 45 to 50 minutes.
Well, I think they can be creative about things. I mean, who knows where they'll take it?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of other shows. I can't think off the top of my head where that's a thing.
The Walking
and
Dead.
then
when it's like, oh,
Yeah.
zombies. And then they get bored of zombies immediately and
Yeah.
then start making it 100% about weird, freaky people.
Yeah.
And it's like, isn't this a zombie show?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just about weird, freaky people.
I guess because you get kind of tired of like,
That's why you watch the show, though.
but then maybe it should have just been a 1 or 2 season show.
It became an apocalypse drama.
Yeah. And I'm interested in those, but I feel like you can maybe do other things, but really you're drawn to The Walking Dead because it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
And so I just think there's only so much maybe you can do with that to where you're still scared by a zombie situation or tense by a zombie situation. Like, they're going to have to keep, the writers are going to have to keep fucking with these people's lives to put them in situations that are dangerous. And, otherwise they would learn, they would learn how to deal with the zombies or like be safe from the zombies, but they keep getting put into the situations because that's how you keep the excitement and the suspense going.
Yeah. But
So I hope that this show is like a season. I mean, I just feel like that's what the English do a lot of times, and that's what keeps it fresh. I feel like I've said this. Are you okay? What was it?
Oh.
What was it?
A little bit of barf.
Oh, what did it taste like? Pizza and green tea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. What do I win? What does she win, Johnny? Some of
Smells?
your
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
Do you want to have a Tums?
I don't think people want to hear this.
Well, we already told them pretty much all there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Anyway, so I don't know what I'm trying to say. I hope that they just keep it to like 1 season because I just think it's going to get tired. As much as I love Alan Tudyk, and I do love him, there's other characters.
It depends on how creative the writers are. I mean, think about
that though. Just think about it. Think about what you're saying.
But think about like The Simpsons. I mean, they've carried on for so long, and when Conan was writing for them, it's like they just had. It's about a family. Mm-hmm. They had so much material. They did so much with it. I think there's a lot you can do with things.
But do you think that
you just need creative writers?
Do you think that with a cartoon though, because you can do so much, like with physics and just crazy outlandish things, that you can
This show clearly has a budget.
But also
they clearly have a decent budget.
But also, I think The Simpsons was meant to be a long-running sitcom. I mean, it's an animated sitcom, basically, right? So sitcoms are different because they're kind of, I think, meant to be marathons, Yeah. But like with a show like this,
like
where
Friends
right out the gate, you know what's going on with him. You know what his deal is.
I'd like to imagine that they have a plan for the show, and then they aren't just like winging it after episode 1.
I'm surprised with your optimism, especially because I was the one who wanted to watch it, and you were like, and like I'm just surprised by your optimism in view of what we've talked about with other shows and like our gripes about writers. And
it's because the trailers did not appeal to me. They were really highlighting the sheriff, who I didn't think was funny, and then Alan Tudyk, kind of stole the show for me.
Yeah. Well, he is the main character, so
He's the main character, and he's funny. He's been funny in everything he's been in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
And he doesn't play like a campy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
campy,
like he's
cheese-filled character like the sheriff.
It's like he's method acting being an alien in a human body. It's like he's really he's really going for it. But so okay, just in case you aren't aware that we're going to talk about what is going on, there are, I guess, spoilers. So turn off now if you're not if you don't want to know or you haven't already watched the show.
If you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So basically, he's an alien who is...
It's just episode 1, though, that we're going to talk about.
Yes. And it's very quickly, kind of, they tell you what his plan is. So...
There's not really a lot of spoilers then, I guess.
Well, just the whole... I mean, because I read a couple reviews or synopsises where they say, like, what he's there for. And so it's like, oh, okay.
But I
So
didn't
it's not
know.
like, oh, man, I wish I didn't... Yeah.
I didn't know, and you had already known
I
from
said
reading
something
about it.
because I thought they had already said it in the show, but it was because I had read about it, so I maybe spoiled it for you.
So anyway,
apologize.
spoiler. Do you want to just say it?
Well, so he's an alien who has been sent by his quote unquote people to come blow up Earth or something, kill all the inhabitants.
But you don't find out until the end of the episode, right? Something like that?
I guess I thought they revealed it.
I don't think
in the flashback. Okay, so they just flash back to him landing, and
he's looking for his device that I didn't know what it was.
Oh.
And they explain it at the end. So he's built this relationship. He's sort of like connecting a little bit with people, and then he's like, I have to find this device so that I can kill everybody. And then
he does this kind of crazy like.
He's doing a smirk. And to me, it was a surprise because I didn't read anything about it. And they didn't explain that earlier. That was the first time they had mentioned it.
Okay. I just thought that you had like tuned out because I read that that's what his aim was.
No.
So I kind of knew that going in.
You definitely knew that going in.
Okay. Sassy bitch. Well, I'm going to call you Sheriff. I'm going to call you Big Black. Like this. Ow, 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 ow. And that's not us being racist. So the sheriff says, everyone calls me Big Black. That's one of my favorite quotes. Not the sheriff's part, where he says, everyone calls me Big Black. And then Alan Tudyk looks past him and goes, oh, because you're big truck. Or, oh, because you're truck. And he turns and he looks and he's like, oh, you're funny. You're funny.
You're a funny man, aren't you?
Because he's got a black truck. It's funny. He just kind of like cuts him. So, so he lands in whatever Colorado. I forget Patience, Colorado. He lands there, crash lands, and he bumps into the doctor's property. The doctor, who's played by Alan Tudyk. So he walks in, and Alan Tudyk, of course, is like terrified because he's this big alien. He's like twice his size. And then they start fighting. And Alan Tudyk draws blood. And anyway, so it pisses off the alien guy. I forget what his name is, but I guess his name is Harry in the show. So he starts beating him up. And then it's just funny because one of the parts that we laughed at was, what the hell was that? Was that Charlie farting? I don't know. Anyway, so he's got this alien has these two hands. So he's like fighting with him. And Alan Tudyk like holds his hands. And then he's got these two little hands, alien.
The alien has these two little hands on his abdominal. And they reach out and start choking.
Just little
Alan.
tiny. Yeah. So ultimately, spoiler alert, he throws the doctor over the deck and into the icy lake, and he dies. But he doesn't he doesn't retrieve his body, and that's part of what he has to get back throughout the episode before there's a thaw, because then the lake immediately freezes over the doctor's body. And he's saying, I have to go retrieve the body before it thaws and somebody finds out. The doctor's dead and I'm an imposter.
And he has to find the explosive device that he lost when he crashed.
Right.
So
then he, can't speak the human language. So there's shots of him watching Law and Order and practicing speaking. And he just does it so well. He's just like mumbling. I mean, maybe it's not that hard. He's like mumbling, trying to repeat the Law and Order signs. Words.
Quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
actors.
Yeah. And I've never really watched Law and Order, but I love this quote that Jerry Orbach says, who's like the main guy. And he's like, there's no hooker client confidentiality. Yeah. And I heard that and I was just cracking up because I just love that idea. Maybe there should be. So just watching him like trying to figure out how to talk from this show. And then throughout the show, he's just quoting Law and Order and like loving the crime solving aspect. And he keeps going, chuk-chung. Mm-hmm. You do it better. You did it. You did it on another episode.
You just did it. It's fine.
What's your favorite part of the show? Like, what's the highlight for you?
There was a part that I really liked that I forgot.
All right. Well, so, okay, so we've established you don't really like the sheriff. What about his little deputy? She was kind of funny.
She's kind of funny.
She didn't really have enough lines.
Just kind of an awkward character.
I hope they give her more. So they go to get him because there's been a murder in town.
Oh yeah, when he says that, when he says, I'm smarter than you.
Oh yeah.
I think that was my favorite part.
I did write that down. So I'll just lay a little foundation for that, which is they come out to his lake house, and I don't know if this is his first interaction with humans apart from the doctor he killed. So he does not expecting them
in town or something.
Yeah. So they come out and they say, we need a doctor. And he's like, well, don't you have a town doctor? And he's like, well, that's a funny thing. The sheriff says this, he's the one who's been murdered. We need you to come look at the body. So they drag him into town and look at the body. And that's where he meets the clinician assistant or doctor's assistant, her name is Asta.
Which she's asleep.
She's asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. And he thinks she's the dead patient that he needs, or the dead person that he needs to inspect.
So she's just in a chair, slumped, sleeping, and he pokes her and smells her and goes, well, judging from the smell, she's been dead about 6 hours. She's like, hey. And they're like, oh yeah, that's not the body. So then he sees the body, which has a knife or scalpel sticking in the neck, and he's like, this is awesome. And they're like, what? So just obviously getting to know how to act normal,
interact.
Yeah. So here some of our favorite quotes. So when he's driving into town to meet the sheriff at the clinic, he's like, I've never been into town before. It's just too risky. Plus, they don't have a pizza place, and the internet said parking was a nightmare. Just a funny idea that an alien's concerned about parking, And then, quoting. Okay. So Asta comes in, the medical assistant, whatever, and shows up and she's putting gloves on when he's prepping to do the autopsy. And he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm helping you. And he's like, I don't need help. And she's like, yeah, you do. And also, I don't fucking trust you. She doesn't say the F word.
He's like, and she's like,
shut up.
Sorry.
So do you want to read? Can you read it from here? You probably can't, huh?
I cannot.
Okay. So he says, I'm smarter than you. And he says it just because he's just a dork, I'm smarter than you. And she's like, what are you, 12? He says, don't feel bad. It's just a fact. Once you accept it, you'll stop fighting me. And he's comparing humans to lizards and saying that they're dumber than lizards or something. And, it's just funny.
Which I don't think is accurate.
Yeah, probably not. I mean,
definitely
I guess
not.
It's subjective.
I'm pretty sure if they were smarter than us, they would have something more going on.
Yeah. We'd be at war, maybe. Or something.
They would have some further technology, I would assume.
Yeah.
I don't think thumbs are the main thing.
I don't think I said thumbs. I think you said thumbs.
I know.
But that's where my mind is going.
Well, I know that's where most people's minds go. That's where...
That's just a funny thing to say.
That's how we advanced so much.
It's just a funny thing to say.
Thumbs, and we can, we can make and we can craft things. And we can manipulate.
It's true.
Things with precision.
Yeah. Well, lizards, they don't have thumbs. They don't have, I think maybe I'm thinking of
I think they have a thumb-like appendage, but I don't think they can pick things up. Maybe. Although chameleons...
I think that's who I was picturing.
Who?
What I was picturing.
Chameleons might be able
to
pick things up with their cool karate chop hands.
Yeah. So what are they doing with their lives? I mean, they're asleep on the job.
Clearly we're smarter than them because they would be.
Is it because once we evolved past a certain point, we just held everybody down in the food chain, in the evolutionary ladder or whatever?
I don't think
like
so.
they can't evolve because we're there like watching them. Like, oh no,
We're there watching them, keeping them from congregating and
yeah,
crafting tools. I don't think so.
stamping down on their right to assemble.
I don't think so. I think if they had the capability, the mental capability, they would be doing stuff like that.
Well, I know every time I see a lizard wielding a weapon like a sharp stick, I yank it out of their little lizard hands and I'm like, no,
Oh shit.
that's
So
not
you're
happening.
the problem.
Yeah. I just wondered if other people were doing that as well and that's why they haven't evolved. Okay.
I don't know what to say to that.
We'll look into that in the next episode. Yeah, so he's just constantly comparing people to lizards. So the other development is that there is a child in town, one person who can see through his disguise. And I forget the way he describes it, but the kid sees him in the street, screams, and
Runs
he's
away.
like, shit,
Yeah.
So determines that at some point he's got to take this kid out because he's going to blow his cover.
And there are more people in this town that can see me for who I am than there are slices of pizza or something.
Yeah.
Because there's no pizza places in town.
Which I actually had to think that through because I think it just blew my mind that there'd be no pizza place.
And it's funny
I was
that
like,
he knows
wait, so
about
there's one
pizza.
pizza place, but there's more than one kid who's... Yeah, it is funny.
It's like one of the main things he researched or something.
He must have
before
learned
came
about
to
it on
Earth.
Law and Order.
Oh, do they eat pizza on Law and
I'm
Order?
sure. Everyone eats pizza on TV, don't they?
Law and
Oh
Order.
man, my stomach just started going because we got pizza downstairs still. And
We
it's
do.
like, you say the word. Exactly. So what else? So then after all that tense interaction with Asta over cutting the doctor's body open, she oddly invites him to the bar because I guess she got a soft spot for weirdos and hard luck cases or whatever.
It's kind of clear because of her husband that she has a soft spot for weirdos.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
Kind of.
Well, maybe because she needs his truck, because doesn't she ask him for a ride to go pick up her stuff from the husband that she's just left? I don't know
That's
why I'm
true.
flinging my hair like that. I'm just trying to look a little sexy for you for later.
It's working.
Is it? My weird little flailing. So he goes to the bar, and this is where I get a little annoyed because I feel like writers write
little
women.
annoyed?
I'm a little annoyed. Yeah. I get annoyed with how writers write women. And I don't know, maybe there's just a lot more annoying women than I realize. But I'm like, I don't act like that. Why are they writing them like that? Like just the way girls act like in a bar. Like they're suddenly like flirty and like telling him how to, I don't know. And the bartender's like flirting with him and like drinking. Like you said, like bartenders don't drink like that.
I'm an old man.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was the one thing I was commenting on is like, bartenders don't drink like that. Bartenders aren't just like slamming shots with customers. Like
Yeah.
you got to work.
Yeah.
Unless you want to lose your job. You can't be, because she took like 4 or 5 shots in a
Yeah.
row.
And she looked pretty well put together. And I think if you've built up a tolerance to where you can take a bunch of shots and not be impaired, like you'd look kind of a mess, I think. You know what I mean? Like you're just not going to be, your makeup's not going to be nice. You're not going to be slim.
Well, and don't you just
know?
need body weight to be able to handle your alcohol? Isn't that?
I think you can build up a tolerance, but there's definitely a limit for a little lady compared to a
Yeah.
300 pounder,
300 pounder.
man. Like,
Who's a 300 pounder?
I'm just a hypothetical
Okay.
who
Then
can handle 10
Then a man.
Hey, it could be a woman. Don't be sexist.
Okay.
God damn. Anyway, so they're just being annoying women, and I'm like, wait, I liked this Asta character when she was giving him
Like,
shit.
oh, a doctor, hey.
Oh,
Oh.
well, let's see if you can stick around and drink these. I don't know. So what is funny is that he takes a shot and he does this like, and his lips like blow out, and then he's like, they're like, oh, it's good, huh? It's our local whiskey, and he's like, no, it's horrible. Why do I want more? Just Anyway, making a joke on the addictiveness of, I don't like whiskey.
Whiskey's okay.
Oh yeah, you kind of like whiskey.
I think I prefer it to things like rum.
That's fair.
You don't like whiskey?
I don't really like any hard alcohol unless it's mixed with, some kind of juice.
I feel that. It doesn't taste good. I mean, I think you can, objectively say that alcohol does not taste good. Mm-hmm. And I think if you say that it does, you're lying to yourself. It does not taste good.
You can become tolerant of it because of the effect that it produces.
Uh-huh.
I think
it tastes good the same way licking the ground tastes good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't taste good.
Well, I think it is kind of like coffee, for example. It is an acquired taste, but I think the thing that helps you acquire that taste is the effect it produces, which is making you drunk. Mm-hmm. And that's why you love coffees, because it makes you hyper.
Zippy.
Wakes you up.
Yep.
But so then he basically gets drunk, and it's just funny because he makes a comment later about whiskey must not affect humans the way it does us, because if it did, they would never drink it.
Mm-hmm. Nausea, dehydration, etc.
Headache. And he's like, it's just funny because it doesn't make sense. Why do we do it? Mm-hmm. I had one drink last night
to numb our brains,
cocktail, or
to get us comfortable in social situations.
In the moment, it's really good. But even just today, I didn't feel hungover. I hardly ever drink. I took one sip and I got a little buzzed off the fumes. I did drink it. It took me an hour, but I feel kind of crappy today. Just puts me in more of a negative headspace. Yeah. But it does taste really good when you're. It's the experience, the whole, the ritual. I'm kicking back. I'm having a cocktail.
I get it.
I'm getting a little buzzed. I'm slurring my words. I'm not responsible for what I'm saying.
I get that. It's like when, when we're going to play some video games, got some snacks and some marijuangas and just, a little bit of, good feels.
Taking the edge off.
But then afterwards you're like, oh,
Yeah. But you don't feel like that with the marijuana.
I don't think so.
I don't know why I said the marijuana, but
the marijuana's a little bit maybe, but it's not bad.
Okay. Cool. Oh, and that's nice. So I think at one point, he gets called a douchebag and a taint. And then he's helping Asta, go to her house that she was at with her husband to pick up some stuff, and he is in the car while she's walking in the house because he's looking at his phone and he's spelling douchebag. It's like a small syringe. Oh, okay. A small syringe to rinse the vagina. Or vagina. I forget what he says. And then he goes, images. And then he's like, oh, he says, what the hell?
And then he proceeds to type in taint.
Uh-huh. And then just throws the phone. And
that's another thing, what was that?
How do you know how to spell it?
He heard the word from the sheriff, who was just doing his weird whatever character he's doing, where he's like, you can feel it in your taint or something, right?
Yeah.
Your taint is tingling with guilt, isn't it? Or something.
Right.
It's like, what kind of a joke is that? What is this?
Maybe they're just having him come out strong right out the gate. So you're like, what a dick. But then maybe he warms to him and they become best buds.
Could be. But right now his character is just a weird mound of cheese to me. It's what
an interesting analogy.
Cheesy.
But cheese is good. Oh, okay.
What is this?
Yeah.
What are you? I don't know. It's kind of like the Tim and Eric Awesome show, where some of their skits are just what the fuck am I supposed to be feeling right now? I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're supposed to be feeling funniness, humor, laughter.
Yeah.
And that's what they're counting on with this. I mean, I think when you first see him, it's again the novelty thing, and it's kind of funny because he's just kind of got attitude, but it's a little bit much.
I think that I might be jaded from the Game Grumps and other Let's Players, because the word taint to some might be a bit of a shocker and oh, that's funny.
Oh.
Just the mention of it.
Yeah.
But it's it's just not funny on the face of it. It's not funny to just mention the word taint.
Yeah. I think you're right, though. I think the character maybe is a little bit of like kind of shock value. And like a black sheriff who calls himself Big Black and then who calls the mayor Snowflake or Mayor Snowflake. He calls him Mayor Snowflake. And then the funny part of it is always Alan Tudyk's part, which is his response to what the sheriff is saying. And that is kind of sad for that character, but it's like, okay, he made it funny because then Alan Tudyk turns around and calls the mayor Snowflake, and he's like, please don't call me that. And he's like, I thought that was your name. And he's like, no. Yeah, so I think it is a bit like maybe most audiences who are watching this show aren't kind of, not like they're not edgy, because that sounds kind of snobby and like, I don't know, dated, but kind of there's so much stuff on YouTube, like with the gamers and just, I don't know, maybe even the bloggers or whatever, who they say a lot of shit like that. And just and talk about
like funnier things.
Yeah.
And
they're not just going taint balls cunt, you know.
You're not going to, by watching them and having a history of watching them, you're not going to watch TV and then be shocked by a guy who says taint out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think it's you're like right, though. It's
kind of like when stand-ups start talking about smoking weed, like, yeah, blaze it 420, and the audience is like, woo! It's like, okay, is that supposed to stand up on its own as like a joke or something? What the fuck is this? And maybe I'm just a jaded old man, but, you know, it just annoys me a little bit.
Yeah. Like, it's like a gimmick. It feels a bit gimmicky or like a hook or just shock value. And then you're like, oh, I feel so edgy watching the show. And it's like,
oh, they mentioned weed.
Yeah.
Or like,
and weed's
drinking.
Like legal everywhere now. So why is that, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe if you're talking about meth. No, I don't know. Not really.
There's your edge. Crack cocaine.
How's your balls?
It's not my balls. It's the top of my pubis.
Nice. I like your medical.
I'm not sure that's the correct word for it.
Yeah, do men have pubises? Well, we all do because it's a pubic region. I just think it's more often used for women. I don't know what the pubis
actually is.
Let's Google it. I'm gonna Google it.
Okay.
How am I gonna Google it? Anyway, you talk.
Why does it open two windows every time?
Pubis. Such a great word.
The Punisher.
What?
Are you sure you didn't want to look for The Punisher?
Oh, yes. You misunderstood me. I misunderstood myself.
Either of a pair of bones forming the two sides of the pelvis.
So you do have it's probably roughly, yeah. Are you feeling it now?
I don't know.
I didn't mean to close it, but I wanted to make sure we're still recording. Anyway.
Recording this very crucial.
My favorite thing at work is at least twice now, I've had attorneys writing reports or emails that I think one of them I caught where in a report, instead of saying public, they say pubic. And I am just cracking up. One of them, the email actually went out and I went, oh man, such and such, you said pubic instead of public.
And they're like, why did you tell me?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just leave it?
Because it's a lesson to use your goddamn spell check. That's why.
Although spell check might not pick it up because pubic is a word.
But I think a lot of times they can do context. Or like with one of the people I work with,
there'll be a little blue
install
underline.
Grammarly, because Grammarly will tell you, I'm pretty sure, did you mean to use pubic when you said pubic entity? Suggestion, public. Anywho's. So, yeah.
How are you liking this geriatrics podcast where we complain about everything?
Hey. Young people complain about stuff too. So the other great thing about this show is the music. The music's really good. And we developed, God, what is my problem? We discovered,
That's the word.
Shut up, pubic head.
Pubic head.
They've got Joe Cocker, which I love that song, Feeling All Right or something. It's really good. I love Joe Cocker. And there's this band called the James Hunter Six. Did that fix my, I think that's what it's called. And they do this song that, stop looking at me like that.
Like what?
Oh, I didn't realize you were just sniffing away from the microphone. I thought you were looking at me judgingly.
I'm not. Continue.
They do this song, what's it called? And it sounds like
an old 50s song.
Yeah.
Like Sam Cooke or something nice like that.
Whatever It Takes is what it's called. And I forget which part, but
it's a really nice song.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the part where they're actually doing the autopsy. So just some of these kind of upbeat or like bluesy
soul
old-timey songs.
Yeah.
And then, behind, them doing like a bloody autopsy and him like playing with the doctor's organs in front of the girl who's like known this doctor since she was a kid and is very sentimental, and they think he's been murdered. Alan Tudyk, what the hell's his name? Harry. I should stop just call him by his character name. Keeps saying he committed suicide because the angle of the wound and the blood on his hand, and there she's like, I don't trust you, and he would never. Yeah, he was, but she doesn't believe him. So then he's like doing this thing where he's like practically doing like a yo-yo. What are those balls where you would like bang the string? You would like punch it back at yourself,
like a paddle ball.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of like that, but with his hand and
with a kidney,
some organ. That was a kidney.
I think it was a kidney.
Are kidneys that little? I always thought kidneys were bigger than that.
No, I think they're pretty little.
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then he goes back when she goes to the bar, and he goes back because he's like, I'm gonna cut the doctor's brain out and squeeze it in my hands because he's just.
Yeah, because he's weird, he's
weird.
Squeezing it barehanded.
Yeah. That was Brandon's major issue. Why isn't he wearing gloves? I hope he washes his hands before he eats.
And then
am I wrong?
No.
Yeah.
You're completely
And I was
right.
like, but he's an alien.
He's an alien. But I don't know. You never know. There could be communicable diseases through
That's true.
Human and alien.
Some dogs and tigers and gorillas are getting.
Oh my.
Good one.
Boo, boo.
I wanted to boo it, but it was actually good, so I had to.
It was not.
I had to tip my hat to you, sir. I liked it because it was out of nowhere, and I was like,
It was.
he got me.
It was so bad.
Me.
It was
right through the
mediocre.
Heart. No, it was good. Speaking of mediocre,
and then the wife walks in of the doctor when he's squeezing the brain, and she's like, "I haven't seen my husband. Have you? She says, "Is he here? Is he here?"
And he, being very literal, says, "Yes."
while holding the brain, and she's behind him, so she doesn't see that he's there with the body squeezing the brain.
Yeah, so that's how she finds out that he's dead. So, but it kind of cuts away, and then he's telling Asta in the bar what happened, and it's just, it's bad. But so I would say for me, there's funny parts with the cast, but I definitely feel like the draw for me was Alan Tudyk. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've made that pretty clear.
For me too.
I feel like you're not in the dark about that.
I would not have watched the show if not for him.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the other characters are funny, in my opinion.
Yeah. I do like when she's when Asta is sassing him when he first meets her, and then when she's doing the autopsy with him, I'm like, this is the character I like. Giving him shit. When she starts to get nice and they're like talking about her backstory, and it's like, the hard luck case, but she's got a heart of gold, and I'm like, oh, this is so
Cue the acoustic guitar.
Exactly. So saccharine. And then she's having this, like, the whole domestic violence thing with her, like, it sucks, but I mean,
and it was cool watching him slam through the wall.
But
and
again,
then pull
it's
the guy
him.
through.
It's always Harry. It's always the Alan Tudyk part that like is kind of just trumping these people and stealing the show. I mean, he is the main character, but he's like, that's me then going like, yeah, this is why I'm watching. The mayor's kind of funny. He's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, what does he say at the funeral?
He's like, so Harry
becomes the town doctor.
Yeah,
because the main doctor was dead.
Unwillingly. He's like, why are all these people calling me?
And also he's
about their medical
becoming
issues?
the therapist, I guess.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense because those are two different practices. So anyway, he's becoming the mayor's therapist?
I guess they're assuming that you don't like know that about real life. That anyway. Yeah. So the mayor
I feel
is
like most adults know that.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe in a small town, the doctor will do that, or he's just a sympathetic ear. But it's kind of weird. So he says
weird.
like, oh, also, you know, sometimes when I'm banging my woman, like I don't want to look her in the face. Like I love her a lot, but what's funny
And then he's
to
like,
me,
I'll see you on Tuesday.
what's funny to me is that Harry just goes, oh, okay, like he gets it, like he understands what he's saying. Does he know what about screwing? So it's a little bit of like this, you know, suspension of disbelief, but also it just made it funny in the moment that he just doesn't question it and go like, what is screwing? Why don't you want it? He just goes, oh, all right, like I get it.
Did he? I thought he said when I'm having sex with my wife, I can't look her in the face or something. I think he used proper words. I don't think he used.
He said screwing because I went back and looked.
Did he really?
Yeah, because I thought, how does Harry know? But maybe
he might know screwing from that show, Law and Order, because
he knows about hooker-client confidentiality and the lack thereof.
Maybe that's why they chose that show for him to learn from.
There's a lot of... But I also thought maybe that's him just becoming comfortable pretending like he knows what's going on, like fitting in.
That could be.
But it was a really funny like, oh, all right, yeah, see you then. And not being like, I don't want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, or just not saying, I'm not a therapist, I'm a doctor. There is a difference.
Yeah, that would kind of be a wet blanket on that moment. So, what's your like? What would you grade this? That might be a fun thing.
Like out of 10, I would
or A, B, C, D, F.
I'm gonna do out of 10.
Okay.
You can do A, B, C.
No, I don't. That would be confusing. Let's make it consistent. A consistent scale.
Okay, so 0 out of 10. I would
10 being the best.
Yes.
Okay.
Naturally, isn't it usually?
I don't know. Sometimes do you ever do those online surveys and like one is like
I don't think 0 is usually the best.
Well, I just want to be clear. Okay, clarity is very important to me.
Okay, good. Okay, fine. I would give it probably like an 8.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because Alan Tudyk is really funny. The supporting actors, they're okay, but I don't know. The quality is really good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly have a decent budget. So yeah. 8.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I think I was more tolerant of some of the characters, although the women, I wish they were a little more interesting and real, and I don't know.
And not perpetuating that stereotype.
Yeah, just the annoying
women.
Kind of annoying two annoying potential romantic interests. And it's like, you know, I'm more interested in the sheriff's deputy. Like what, you know, show her more. Like where's she going? Is she just going to be like an annoying kind of weird, quirky character, or is she going to have a little bit of substance, you know? But she's like not the attractive female. You know, the bartender and Asta are like the kind of attractive, like, you know, people who are like kind of interested in him for various reasons. But like, I want to see the substance of a female character, like the deputy. But I have a feeling she's just going to be a weird. I think 6 would be a little too harsh. I would lean towards like a 6.5 or a 7. If I was just judging Alan Tudyk,
I thought you were going to give it a bigger.
That's why I was surprised.
Rating.
I was surprised because when we watched it, I feel like I was more judgy of it because I want it to be so good, and I just see where I think it's going. So maybe that's. But if I was just judging Alan Tudyk, I would say 11. But because I'm judging the whole show, I'm saying 7.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
7-11.
Oh, I really want pizza now.
Pizza.
I want him to try pizza
and a squishy, or a Slurpee.
Yeah, I was gonna do an Apu, but now that he's not,
don't.
Just the way he says squishy, I won't. Oh God. I hope that he gets to try pizza in this show. If he goes this whole show without trying pizza, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Well, where is he going to get it?
Because if he likes whiskey,
the town doesn't have pizza.
It's like when Starman, Jeff Bridges, tries Dutch apple pie. And she's like, no, you need to eat your... So great movie. Obviously a bit dated. 80s, 90s, 80s. Definitely
Starman, 80s. I don't think I've ever seen it.
You would probably laugh at it because there's not much comic relief. And also it's very dated. And
I would laugh at it?
You would like...
Because there's not much comic relief?
You wouldn't laugh with it. Like, you wouldn't laugh like, haha, it's a funny comedy. You'd like make fun of it.
Oh, would I?
Yeah, you're a bit like that.
Oh. Oh.
Like
I didn't
Pink
think
Floyd?
I was that
Do you remember
bad.
the Pink Floyd? Yeah.
What about it?
Just how harsh you were about it?
I'm sorry. I just, I'm probably going to make a lot of people hate me by saying this, but I think Pink Floyd is overrated.
What's one of your favorite bands?
Radiohead.
No, you can't. Come on. You got to pick one that you know.
So Pink Floyd, the reason I you're already mad. I can see it in your face.
I'm just waiting for you to get through your stuttering and just get to the central thesis here.
Okay, so the reason I don't super like Pink Floyd is because of slow builds and the main singer's vocals are just not super interesting to me. So
one dumb man's opinion.
Fair enough.
No, seriously, I just want to what are some bands that you like? Because I just want to have my opportunity.
I like Radiohead.
You can't keep saying fucking Radiohead. And don't say Jack Stauber, and don't say...
Yeah, Jack Stauber's good.
Don't say Ween and...
I like Ween.
Do you like the Eagles?
Do I like the Eagles? I can't even think of what they've done. Hotel California or something? I don't really like the Eagles.
Damn it. All right, whatever. We'll figure it out next time.
I mean, they're okay, but like it's the same sort of feeling I have.
No, we don't need to talk about how bad they are because I agree with you. We need to find a band that you love, then I'll talk about how bad they are.
I'm saying it gives me the same sort of feeling from Pink Floyd.
That is fucked up.
It's just okay. So it's...
Anyway, this isn't an episode about Pink Floyd and why it's a great band and Brandon doesn't appreciate them.
Okay, so what do you love about them?
That's like trying to describe
No. Give
the
me
concept of love.
Shush. Give me some fucking details. If you're gonna call me a stupid man.
It's because you were so harsh about them.
Oh.
My voice is breaking. Okay, give me a break. I had a hard day. My computer wouldn't work. It's because you were so harsh about them. And me and my family have loved them for a long time.
I think I just didn't even consider that you had you loved them.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I didn't consider that you loved Pink Floyd. I didn't know that they were like a widely... I mean, I knew that a lot of people liked them, but I didn't know a lot of people loved them.
Oh, yeah. I like the kind of slow build. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I like kind of the slow build. I like kind of the sometimes kind of spacey feel and just, I don't know, a little bit just out there. I like the lead singer's vote. I guess it's Roger Waters. I'm not like a fanatic. I've always liked their music. And I think there is a nostalgia to it, but your critique of them was just so harsh.
I'm sorry.
And then when I told you that I liked them, you just continued. So I will forever hold it over you and bring it up.
How long has it been since that?
It's only been like a year
happened?
Or two.
No, I think it might be like 3 or 4 years.
I probably didn't let it out then because we were new and I was like, all right, I'm going to cut him some slack, or just like, I'm not sure how to handle this. I couldn't just come out and karate chop you like I wanted to. And today, if that conversation happened anew, I would karate chop you and leave a mark. But anyway, how did we get on that topic? Music? Were we talking about the music?
Yeah, you were talking about the music of the show.
It's good music.
Nice.
Wipe that filter. You just spat on it. Jesus Christ. So check out the soundtrack. Let's see, who are some other ones? Black River Delta, and I think so we thought that James 106 was a super old like group band, and they're new. They're from Essex, England, and they've been around for a while, but
which is another strange
thing. I think
thing.
that song was like 2018, and it's so good. It's just a good soundtrack, and it fits kind of in a funny, way with the show. So, yeah, I would recommend it if you really like Alan Tudyk.
Yeah,
that would be my recommendation. Otherwise, I just think it's gonna be like, I think it might fizzle a bit or get a bit like beyond itself. Like
yeah, but that's anticipating something that hasn't happened. So
that was my theory, and then I read a review that kind of said the same thing.
Oh.
I
look at you
reading
into shit.
I made
and being like, oh well, I'm just anticipating.
No, listen.
But actually, I know.
What did I just say?
To listen to you?
I said I had that theory or that feeling about it, and then I read the review. I read the second review where it said, and I was like, oh man.
What did they say?
I shouldn't have read it because it just made me disappointed. Like, oh, but maybe actually my expectations will be lowered, so I'll enjoy it more and I'll be like okay with it. Whereas like I think because you lowered my expectations a bit because you were kind of critical of the previews, and then I went into it like being like, yeah, it's probably going to be a bit cheesy, and then it wasn't, and then you enjoyed it so much more, and I think sometimes that elevates my enjoyment because I'm not having to like defend the show or like be like, oh, I picked this and like he doesn't like it.
They just weren't selling it in the trailer or ads.
I think,
in my opinion,
I think the way they cut they edit, the scenes for the ads is like very kind of pandering to kind of the lowest common denominator, kind of like what the sheriff saying taint, like kind of using that like oh
farts.
Yeah, exactly.
Farts. How many times can I say farts?
It's like the adult version of farts. But the way they cut it together is like very manipulative in the ad. And I think you and I are like a little more, I don't want to say sophisticated, but like
we're very highbrow and sophisticated.
No, we're just like, I don't know how to say it without sounding snobby like that. Just
jaded, I think is a good.
And also we're not TV watchers, so we get annoyed with stuff that we watch a lot of YouTubers or stuff that you don't have to deal with dumb commercials that kind of dumb it down a bit.
Well, and like Game Grumps and Sark and Oni Plays and all of the YouTubers that make funny jokes, funny commentary, off the cuff.
Yeah.
And it's like constant entertainment.
You do have higher expectations.
Hours and hours of entertainment versus, a show that has a show that has a limit and a budget.
Yeah.
But.
And also, I think it just kind of raises your standards in terms of what you expect. And it's a very natural feel. Whereas if you have like a show, it's billed as a drama, I think, but but it does feel sort of sitcom-y.
It definitely feels sitcom-y.
But it
has his inner monologues that are jokes. I mean, it's so
the inner monologue is really good.
It's so loaded with jokes. I would not at all consider it to be a drama, but maybe because there's violence in it. I don't know.
It could be.
And there's like a serious,
violent.
a serious story
and the domestic violence storyline with her, and then like seeing the buck that like represents protection or something like. That's kind of weird. I don't know.
That was weird.
It was that was why I didn't like it too. It's like, why do we?
What am I supposed to be feeling here? What? Bring on the jokes.
Yeah. Well, I know that's usually your feeling because you're not super into. I don't know. I think if the drama aspect of it was like strong. And like not like you said, like cue the guitar music, cue the acoustic guitar.
If it wasn't,
then you'd be like, oh, like that's a perfect pairing,
stereotypical
with the
cheese
comedy aspect. But it was just like, man, you're just dragging it down.
You're pandering to
the chicks. Like, what is that?
It must be the chicks. To a common, like your God, what is a word for
demographic? Like. Target group?
Keep guessing.
You're being sarcastic, but you were looking at me like, keep guessing.
That was my blank face of me trying to think of what the hell I'm trying to say. And you're just like.
To me, you looked out of the corner of your eye like, help me out. And I was like, okay,
No,
I'm trying.
No, that was a different look. It was me going,
I'm still learning your looks. A lot of them look similar. The blank-eyed stare.
the blank one. How do you read it?
So did you?
So they're doing like generic shit. That's what I wanted to
Good
say.
one. Yeah.
Fuck. Fuck you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I figured.
But I am sorry. Are you a little bit parched? So they're doing generic shit.
They're Jewing generic shit? Your face. Don't do that.
Why? Why not? Do I look like Edgar suit?
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. All right. So, anything else you want to add about the show? So I think it comes out on Wednesdays. So we're not going to be, I don't know, maybe we'll touch on it in our next episodes and just give you updates about whether we hate it or not. But Alan Tudyk is great. I actually might watch it again and then just fast forward through the drama bits. Dramedy? Anyway.
That's what they should call it.
Oh, yeah, it's weird calling it a drama.
It's super weird calling it a drama.
Super weird. It was weird the way you said that.
So super weird.
Do you have any closing
I don't.
profound thoughts?
All I can think about now, and for the last like 10 minutes, is pizza.
Me too.
So,
oh my gosh.
My brain is not operating right now.
What is wrong with us? That's really good. Advertising does work. They should have like put some brands in that show because we're clearly susceptible. I think we're just susceptible to pizza. So Brandon, I brought home a couple of pizzas from Papa Murphy's and he was all like rubbing up on me, like just like loving me. And when I came in the door and I finally said, you love pizza so much that I think it makes you love me more in the moment where I bring you pizza. And he was like, no, maybe.
Maybe.
I think pizza just amplifies your love for everyone and everything. And I think
it kind of does.
I think it's true.
It's a beautiful creation.
It is
and then you were
creation.
like, what was your idea? And I was like, that's not really fair to give me that idea because I'm always talking about pizza.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm always suggesting pizza whenever I'm like, I'm going to go into town today.
Yeah.
I should get a pizza.
Well, anytime we talk about going into that particular town, it's like, oh, that's where the Papa Murphy's is. Mm-hmm. And yeah, any weekend especially, or heading that way, it's yeah.
And then you cook it and you're smelling it and you're like, fuck yeah, this wasn't a mistake. But then you eat it and then your body's like, this was a mistake.
And then you have a green tea pizza burp and oh.
Yeah, and then you forget and you're like,
but then you immediately want it again. So I hope Alan Tudyk gets his pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Alan Tudyk has had pizza. I hope Harry Vanderspiegel, I think that's his name in the show, the doctor's name, gets his pizza. Cha-chung. Mm-hmm. I can't do it right.
I don't think he will get his pizza, though, because there's no pizza shop.
But he has a truck.
In this town.
He has a truck. He can drive to another town and get some pizza.
That's true. He is in Colorado.
Yeah.
And not Alaska, even though it looks like Alaska. Mm-hmm. Does Colorado really look like that? It looked like a snowy wasteland.
It does have snow. And it has mountains, but also a lot of flatness. No? Maybe I'm just judging by how square it is on the map.
Has
that
a
I just
lot
think
of
it's
flatness. No?
I don't know about Colorado.
I don't know anything
Let's
about
hope they
Colorado
got some pizza
either.
there.
Except, wasn't that the first state to legalize marijuanas?
Maybe. It was one of the first, if not the first. I think you're right. Giving yourself
Feels
a
good.
butt chin. I don't want you to have a butt chin. Don't do it anymore.
It's not going to stick.
I just don't like it. Stop doing it. You look like a handsome Squidward or whatever. Doesn't he have a cleft chin?
He does.
All right. Well, he's not really handsome. I mean, that's not true. Like, you can have a cleft chin and be handsome. It just wouldn't suit you. So don't get surgery to get a cleft chin.
Well,
is that even a thing? Is that a thing that
you
people
ruined
do?
my surprise.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
I was going to get a cleft chin.
No, but I said don't.
I know.
Don't fucking do
ruined
it.
it.
If I was married to you, I'd divorce you if you got a cleft chin.
Wow,
I
really?
wouldn't. No,
That
I wouldn't.
serious?
If you
it's
no.
that bad?
If you really wanted a cleft chin, I would allow it.
Well, thank you.
You would just have to cover it up while we were doing stuff.
With what,
some
like an eye
duct tape.
patch?
Sure, whatever works. Just get that thing out of my sight. No, they're not bad. It's just it wouldn't. I don't think it works for you. No, it's because I know your chin is buttless, and then if it suddenly had a butt, I would.
It's called a cleft.
I know. I
Which,
just forget
by the way,
words.
doesn't it mean hole?
Cleft. You have a cleft in your buttocks. Like that is a cleft. It's just. I feel like we've covered this in another episode. We absolutely did.
We did.
We absolutely did.
I think we looked it up on the episode, and I was like, cleft means hole.
Yeah.
But like, it's not a hole; it's a dimple.
I think cleft is like being bisected, but not like completely. Let's look it up. Let's relive this
again.
moment.
This magic moment.
Oh, look! Now I'm gonna have to bleep you.
No, it wasn't good enough.
Split, divided, or partially divided into two. Oh, why do they have to
Cleft
show a
lip?
cleft palate
Of a baby?
Yeah. So I think your butt is a cleft, because it's not.
So like
Yeah, it's split. Otherwise, you would just have a smooth mound.
past and past participle of cleave.
Yeah, yeah.
So it hath been cleft.
And twain.
Interesting. I didn't know it was a verb.
Oh yeah.
That's weird.
I guess.
So you could say like, I cleft this loaf in twain.
But don't they say clove or cleaved? I don't know. Maybe it's one of those words where it kind of became more normal to use it. Like, I think how like we say dove, but like in England they say dived. Like it became more acceptable or in usage to say dived instead of, I don't fucking know. I'm going down a rabbit hole here. I don't think we want to go down. That'll be for the next episode.
Yeah, that might put our listeners to sleep.
Putting me to sleep.
Yeah.
All right. You want to wrap it up?
I think so, unless you got something.
No, I got nothing.
I got nothing too.
Okay, I can tell.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you next time, and let us know your thoughts if you watch Resident Alien.
Yeah.
No one's responded yet to give us feedback on our episodes, but but I'll still keep asking.
We're very lonely.
Not really. I mean, yes, we are. Come join us. Come play with us. And tell us what you thought about the show.
Yes,
Okay.
please. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.